Are you ready?
That really kills me. Yeah.
Ready to tap in? Yo, it's your boy D Starks.
Starks Artist.
And you're tuned in to the Just Different Podcast, where we talk everything faith, life, and culture.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Another EP.
One more. Another week, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's get it. We actually, we were on live. When did we go live? Tuesday?
I don't remember what day it was.
Yeah, we went live
Tuesday. Sounds right. It was Tuesday.
Yeah, we went live Tuesday, and originally this EP we're gonna put out this week. We're thinking about doing it on like crystals, horoscopes, New Age spirituality, because it's a conversation that definitely needs to be had, and a lot of you guys have requested that, and that was definitely on the list. And then on the live, I was like, I had mentioned something about like loneliness and feeling like you were the only person of faith like in your community, like whatever that looks like. And I felt like a push to go in that direction this week. So I was going to do that instead on loneliness and how to deal with that process. And then Alexis Ada came on the hopped on the live.
Alexis Ada.
And let me tell y'all, wrecked us. We asked her like she had a word, and she dropped gems. I mean, something heavy. And from that, I felt like definitely a huge pull and push to go in the direction of what this EP is gonna be about today.
Yeah.
Cause it was just so timely. Like it for real talk.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it hit home. So yeah, man. Let's with all that being said, let's get straight into it.
Fill the people in, bro. So what's gonna be the topic?
Yeah. So whenever Alexis was on live, she mentioned something, and she said that God's people have been selectively sacrificial. That we've been selectively sacrificial. So we're selective on what we're willing to sacrifice to God or completely give to Him.
Right.
So we'll come to the throne, but there's still a few things we'll intentionally not lay at His feet. So it's like, God, you can have my finances.
You can have that.
You can have that.
Right.
Just don't touch my relationships. Don't touch that right there. You can have my Sunday. Just don't touch my Saturday night. Leave that there. You can definitely have that habit.
Yeah.
But this one on the side, I want to keep that for me.
Right.
You know what? You can have my mind, but my attitude, nah, fam.
I'm not giving that up.
Nah, fam. That's for me. We've been selectively sacrificial in what we are willing to submit to Him. We haven't given him all. And so what's happened is we've started to serve God when it's convenient for us. We've begun to serve God when it's convenient for me. But, and Alexis hit this.
Yeah.
Do you think it was convenient for Jesus to carry that cross?
Do you think?
She said, God said, do you think it was convenient for me to put my son on that cross? For those nails to be in His hands? The thorns around His head, the bruises on His side. You think that was convenient?
You think that was convenient?
And now it's about we pick and choose when we want to serve God.
Right.
I'll do it today if I feel like it.
If I feel like it. If it feels right.
Maybe.
If I'm being generous.
If I'm open to it. And He's concerned about our divided loyalty.
Yeah.
God is concerned about our divided loyalty and our lack of commitment.
Yeah. But it has to be all or nothing.
You're either in or you're not. So He's saying, choose this day. Choose this day who you will serve. She said it on the live, and I was like, yeah, that's the one right there. Good. And I've been in that season, in that process too, and it hit me. It's like, nah, choose this day.
Choose this day
who you will serve.
Double-minded man is unstable
in all his ways. You have to
You have
commit.
to choose this day.
And what God revealed to me, and it sounds simple, but choose this day. It's a command, but it wasn't a one-time declaration.
Okay.
It was a command. Well, it wasn't a one-time declaration. So he said that,
Yeah.
but he's actually saying it every day. Does that make sense?
It does.
It's a command, but it wasn't just a one-time declaration.
Right.
Every day when you wake up, God's saying, choose this day.
Choose this day.
Me or the world.
It's not just a one-time thing.
My will or yours. The culture
Yeah.
or the kingdom.
Choose this day.
Your mind or my spirit.
Right.
Choose this day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Every day. Choose. You have to choose.
Choose this day.
So we have to stop playing with God.
There's no more time to be wasted.
We have to stop playing with God because we've put him on the back burner and no longer take him serious enough.
Right.
And that's what some of our lives indicate and portray.
Yeah, for sure.
So you have to choose this day.
I actually got a revelation about this the other day, and it was really good. It's too good to go unsaid. So basically, just going along the same vein of like us being selectively sacrificial, right? So for those of you who don't know, I work at Old Navy, and a customer had come in, and we were just chopping it up, right? Just talking. And this is the season, so we were talking about like
This is the season.
This is the season. So we were talking about what we're gonna get our loved ones for Christmas, and this lady, she said, "I don't know what to get my husband. I just feel like he has everything." And I was thinking about that just in the vein of our relationship with God, like what could be an adequate gift for God? Because he has everything, right? So I'm thinking that, and it dawned upon me like, God actually doesn't have everything, believe it or not. The only thing that God does not have is us, our will, because he surrendered it over to us, right? So with that being said, if you're giving someone a gift, you want to get them something that they don't already have. Do you see what I mean? Because if you give them something they already have, then there's no point. It's pointless. So with that being said, like, yeah, you're giving God your Sunday, but he already has that. He gets that from a lot of people. You're giving God your lifted hand. But he gets that every Sunday. He gets that already. The only adequate gift you can give to God is your free will back to him.
He has your Sunday, but does he have your life?
Does he have your life? That's the only thing he doesn't possess. So with that being said, it's the only adequate gift for him.
I like that. That's so good. Because we understand that we have free will, and God's not going to tamper with that.
Right. Because
he loves us so much that he gives us the ability to choose. Therefore, the greatest thing that you could give over is your yes.
Is your yes. God, I surrender my free will back to you. That's the only adequate gift.
I remember I heard it like this once. It was like during this Wednesday night Bible study, and someone was teaching. It was Pam Ross, and she said, "You had a future worth dying for. Now it's your turn."
Oh, oh my God!
You had a future worth dying for. Now it's your turn. That's what God's saying.
Good.
Now it's your turn. Salvation wasn't free.
It wasn't.
It cost Jesus your life, and now he's asking for yours.
Yeah.
He's asking for yours.
And God, let it be costly. You remember that?
Let it be.
Yo, when they were singing it, I was like, oh,
y'all. There was a song
costly.
they released, or at least performed a new song when we went to the Maverick City concert, and it hit different. But I'm
we not gonna.
we're not gonna get into that right now.
Let it be costly.
But no, that's facts, and and like I wanted to talk about this because like that's honestly where I've been at. I've been like on the edge.
No, me too.
I haven't been, like we talk about all the time, living like God loves me and taking my purpose and what he's called me to serious enough.
Yeah.
I haven't been taking it serious enough, and I've been like on the line, on the fence of like, okay, yeah, I'm all in this day, but man, today I just kind of want to chill.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll take out my cross right now,
but
I mean, it is Friday night.
There's no breaks. When it's a lifestyle, there's no breaks. When it's a way of living,
It's a part of who you are.
yeah, selectively sacrificial. But yeah, definitely, I feel like I've definitely been in that season as well. I feel like I've definitely been more lukewarm.
That's really like what this conversation is around. Is like when you're in that, because y'all know it. Like you probably been there before. Like we understand. Everyone's always like, okay, when I first come to Christ, you understand like that fire you have, that commitment, that drive, that discipline, that passion, that love, and as time goes on, you find yourself in a position where, dang, like it doesn't feel the same.
Right.
Like what happened to that fire that I had, that seek, that pursuit, and that's what you have to navigate and manage well, so you're not finding yourself in a position of like, dang, like I'll serve him this day, but this depends on how I feel tomorrow. If I'll pick up my cross, if I'll give him that yes, if I'll submit my life to him. So what would you say, like, how do you get out of that or deal with that? You know what I mean? I think I'm even still learning right now, to be honest, of how to navigate that season of feeling like I'm lukewarm or that my fire necessarily isn't there. But yeah, what would you?
That's good. I feel like I'm in the same boat. Like I'm still kind of learning through that and walking through that. But I think really it just stems from, there's this common misconception that it's just all going to be all rainbows and butterflies, and that I think we put too much weight on the feeling. You know?
Yeah, that's
if
good.
it feels good, if it feels right, then I'll do it. But sometimes we just think like, oh, if the feeling isn't necessarily there, then I guess that's just a sign that I'm not supposed to. Like, no, it's not always gonna feel good. Sometimes, like I said this quote in our live the other day with Alexis. Like, wait, I forgot what it said. Hold on. When you fall in love with God's flowers and not His roots, what are you gonna do when winter comes?
Say it again, bro. Say it again.
When you fall in love with God's flowers and not His roots, what are you going to do when winter comes? Winter is a perpetual thing. It's always going to come around. It's not always going to be, colorful and nice. Like sometimes it's just going to be the dirt and the roots, and that's all there's going to be. So it's like you have to just step away from the feeling. It's not always going to feel good.
Facts.
And just like sometimes you got to force yourself. They don't like to hear that. It's a hard truth. Sometimes you got to force yourself to get up and read your Bible and walk in your purpose. But it's like you got to pick up that cross regardless.
Yes, it's about discipline. It's not about like it's beyond feelings. Right, walk by faith, not by sight. And I mentioned that on the live as well. It's not about, and that sight piece means like your sensual feelings, right? That's what the context of that is in terms of, okay, how I physically feel or the emotions that arise. Like, no, it's a decision.
Exactly.
God, I'm going to give you my yes, even though I don't feel like it. No, I don't feel like praying. No, I don't feel like getting in my word. And I don't really think I feel you the way I used to, but I'm still going to choose you anyway.
But guess what? Jesus didn't really feel like getting on that cross. He battled it in the garden. But in the end, guess what he said? Your will, not mine.
He still picked it up.
And
I think that you mentioned it, and that's good. Like, we have like these common misconceptions, and the way I was thinking about it, or it came to me, is that sometimes we're like, oh, I don't feel God the same, or things changed, and that's a part of that's a part of the evolution of your relationship with Him.
That's good.
So you have to think about it. When you first come to Christ, you're a babe. Basically, we're babes in Christ. You're an infant. And so, of course, think about it. As a parent, when your children or your child is young, you have to spend more time with them. You have to spoon feed them. You have to have more intimacy and more care around them at a younger age. But as they get older, they're still your child. You still love them all the same. You're still always present and there for them, but the dynamics of the relationship change.
That's good.
And so I think what has happened, and some people are like, I don't feel God the way I used to, and you think that He like you're doing something wrong, but that's just the process of the relationship.
That's good.
Does that make sense?
No, it makes a lot of sense.
So it's like, okay, yeah, like after like, a year, you can't really put a time frame on because it's different for everyone. But okay, after a year of being saved, it's like you've grown up more.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to hold your hand across the street. He doesn't have to do that anymore because he's taught you in your infant season his ways, his values, a part of your purpose, what he wants out of your life. And so as the intimacy of your relationship grows, the dynamic of it changes.
That's good. I've never heard it said like that.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like God, that's how God revealed it to me, because I literally went through that season. So going into my senior year. So junior year, and God just gave me language for it. Junior year is like when I first came to Christ. Yeah. And like that by far was like, up until that point, the best year of my life. Like obviously like being with him, and I felt like he was so close, that I was hearing him so clearly. And our intimacy was just like no other. Like my fire was there. Yeah. And then senior year rolls around, and what I tried to do is approach a new season with old patterns. I was like coming into a new season trying to replicate the same feelings. Right. And so I was going into my senior year, and it felt different. Yeah. I was like I don't feel like I'm as close to God. I don't feel anything like I used to. And so that made me think that I was doing something wrong, or God had taken a step back. Right. And he said it was neither of those things. I was doing all the right things. He was just showing himself to me in a different way. And I didn't want that adjustment, or at least I didn't comprehend it at the time. And so I say that to say is, like, basically what I've been talking about for the past few minutes is, in terms of like, losing so-called your fire for God, sometimes it's just God showing or revealing himself in a different way. Yeah. And you having to adjust to that and see what he's trying to teach you in that time or that season.
So it's like you can lose God constantly looking in the same place. That's good.
Dude, what?
He's always moving. He's not always going to show himself in the same.
Bro, fashion. Say that again, bro. What?
You can lose God continuing to look in the same place.
That's a bar. You can lose God continually looking in the same place. And that's what it was. Yeah. I was looking at where he was at last season. That's good. But he moved. He wasn't revealing himself in that same way. Right. It wasn't going to look the way it did.
And I heard it like this one time. And in that season, it was like God was in that place, but now that he was already there like that pasture has grown, it's green, it's flourishing. But God is going to be where the grass isn't necessarily growing. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. He's going to be in the places where there needs to be some attention. Like, that's good. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yeah. So you can't look for God where there's already been growth. Like, he's going to be moving around. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. So yeah, just I mentioned that just to give you guys perspective, because so sometimes maybe it's not that you did anything wrong or you're necessarily losing your fire, because you're still devoted, you're still getting in your word. He's probably revealing himself in a different way. That's why it feels different.
It feels different. Yeah.
That's all it is. So it's just an adjustment, because the dynamics of the relationship change. You're no longer a babe anymore. Yeah.
He's still there. Just maybe
he doesn't have to hold your hand like he used to.
Maybe you just moved out the house. He's still there. Maybe you just moved out the house, bro.
So yeah, just to mention that. Yeah. But yeah, that's really good, bro. I like that. You can lose God continuously looking in the same place. That's good. And mentioning, you talked about like the pastures and things of that nature, which I thought was actually a good point. How would you basically, so when you feel like your fire does burn out or whatever, or you're in a season where you don't feel like you're as committed, or like it's taking more effort to get up and pray every day. You know what I mean? It's taking more of a fight and a resistance, whatever you're feeling. How do you water that? How do you grow in that season? What like mindset do you need to have, or perspective change you need to adopt for you to get out of that, like, that kind of like rut to move to the next, level?
I feel you. Dang. Quite honestly, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I could come up with like something that sounds good, but in all honesty, I feel like I'm going through a season like that, like as we speak. So it's like I'm sort of like kind of trying to find my way through it. So like I don't really have a, like I said, I can make up something that sounds good, but to be honest, I'm not sure.
That's valid.
What about you? What would you say though?
I would say that when you are in that time, that you have to go back to your first love. Go back. I think there's a song by Maverick City. I can't remember which one, but it's like I think it's History. It's like Take Me Back.
Oh wait, I don't think it's called History, but I think I know what you're talking about.
Bro. Why can't I remember the lyrics?
No, let me think. To my first love. You talking about that?
Yeah, to my first.
What's the
when it
lyrics
was all simple and everything was
I forgot about that
easy.
song. That song's good.
When it was all simple and everything was easy. But anyways, I think in that time, in those moments, you have to go back to your first love. I think sometimes it's just reminding yourself of where God has brought you from and the things he's already gotten you out of to get you out, or, you know, out of the season that you're in right now. It's looking back at his history and going back to the moment, you know, that changed everything.
Yeah. No, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, though, God did give me language for this, and that's really good what you just said. I think because I was struggling with my discipline, and I was like, dang, like, why is it so hard for me to sit down and read my Bible or pray every day? And then God told me it's like, it's not an issue with your discipline, but your desire. So it's like what you're talking about, how like when you go back and revisit those moments, that's where the desire comes from. When you remember where he brought you out of, when you remember who he is, that desire becomes fresh. So
That's good, bro.
that's good. So
you're talking good.
Yeah. So like what he said, you have to go back and remember, because the history, it reminds you of who God is. Because sometimes when you're in certain seasons, like sometimes you forget. Like let's be honest,
We forget.
you forget who God is and how powerful he is. But when you go back and meditate on those things, the desire will become fresh.
I like that.
So it's not about the discipline. The problem's where the desire.
It's your heart posture.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, we were on live, and Jonathan Diggins, John the Saint, he said this. You have to have a heart check. You have to have continual heart checks
Constantly.
Just like, you know, you may, you know, check your temperature if you're sick.
Yeah.
Oh,
you got some. You got some. Talk to us.
Just like when you check your temperature when you're sick, you have to check the temperature of your expectation, of your heart, of your purity, of your intention, of your perspective you have of God when you're going to seasons where you feel like you're spiritually ill.
Oh my God.
When I feel like spiritually ill, as in being not as devoted as I was, or quote unquote, I lost my fire, as we, you know it as, but you have to check your temperature. And so when I check my temperature, I now have a barometer or a standard to know what I need to do next, so I can be well.
That's good.
So you have to check your heart, because that's where the issue is. So maybe it's the discipline is an issue of, dang, maybe my belief isn't there. Maybe my faith in God has wavered. Right. Maybe it's a situation I haven't dealt with, a conversation me and God hasn't had yet, something I haven't brought to him, something I haven't submitted. So when I identify that, then I can start the process of healing.
Yeah, that's good.
To get back to where I'm well.
You cannot fix something that you don't know is broken. You know what I mean? So
Heart checks.
You have to know where the problem is.
Heart checks.
To then get treatment. That's good.
That's the first time I've ever even like said it like that.
No,
but I think
good.
that's actually a good, just based on the foundation to kind of get out of that season. Like check your heart. Sounds simple, but check your heart. And then everything else will really like fall into place. Check your heart and give it to God.
Yeah.
Understand it's a process too. Like
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen overnight, or like
a
in a week
thing.
or whatever. And you have to continuously make sure you're putting fuel on the fire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The hardest part really isn't starting it.
No.
The hardest part of a fire really isn't starting it. It's keeping it going.
Keeping it up.
It's not the hardest part of the race isn't the start. It's if I'm gonna make it to the finish.
Yeah. That's good.
It's all about the process and the season in between.
That's good. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we mentioned it before, but soul salvation, the beginning, the altar wasn't the hard part.
It wasn't.
Your spirit was saved in a second.
Yeah.
It's that space in between. Am I gonna keep giving him that yes?
Yeah. I don't know, but that's what they teach us though. It's like that's the hard part. Now everything else is gonna be fine. The fire, that's what they teach us though. You go to the altar, you get saved. The fire's there. They teach us, the fire's just gonna keep going. They don't teach you got to throw a log in every now and then. They don't teach you that. They don't teach us that.
You got to throw a log in here and there
to keep the fire burning. Yeah, that's some good stuff right there. So just know you got to put the work in to keep the fire going.
Yeah, and no more. Yeah, and going back to the first point we made, we mentioned all of this in terms of like being selectively sacrificial, because that's where it comes from.
Yeah,
of us checking our hearts and being lukewarm and not fully committed to God, but He's telling you choose this day.
This day.
He's not asking anymore. Alexis said that, and I'm sorry, that's been in my ear all week.
Yeah,
but He's not asking anymore.
He's not asking.
He's not asking. And I say that because your obedience is tied to someone else's breakthrough. That's why this is so important. That's why we're talking about this, because you have to commit to your yes.
Exactly.
You have to submit to God's will for your life. Because that's the safest place you can be. That's where you're going to be fulfilled. But that's also what's going to bring healing to others.
Do you want blood on your hands?
I saw this. It was a tweet.
What's up?
And I think most of us are pretty familiar with Jonah and his story. If you're not, just read up on it, because I don't want to take too long. But basically, do you realize when because of Jonah's disobedience, everyone on the boat went through a storm. Because of Jonah's disobedience, everybody that was connected to him on that boat went through a storm too.
Right.
So I have to ask myself, I wonder how many storms you're causing because you won't say yes.
Dang.
Everybody on the boat, like he was on the boat trying to run from God's will, away from what He had for him, and as a byproduct, everyone else got caught in the storm too.
Dang, you in my closet.
I wonder how many people. I wonder how many people you could stop rain for if you just said yes.
Dang.
They're causing storms.
You'll have an effect with your yes or your no. It just depends on what effect that is. It's going to be an effect either way. Negative or positive, you choose.
People are connected to your obedience.
It's not just on you. Dang.
It's bigger than you. And we don't like that, and we mention this because we don't want that responsibility. We don't want that type of weight or, anguish or whatever, but that's the reality of the fact.
Really?
I just want to live my life. Like, I just want to have fun. Like, And we're not saying you can't do that. You can be very happy, fulfilled, content, and have a life. You don't have to be worried about, oh my goodness, like because I didn't do X, Y, and Z, like people are going to like do no. But it's just you having the proper perspective. It's taking yourself serious. That's what it comes down to, y'all. We're gonna wrap up. That's what it comes down to. It's taking yourself seriously.
Yeah.
Cause God does. You were worth all that. You were worth all that. And so it's taking yourself serious, not putting God on the back burner or what he's called you to do. And that's why, and that's the point of all this. Choose this day who you will serve. Because your life and others depend on it.
Yeah. That's good. Your future was worth dying for. Now it's your turn.
Now it's your turn, y'all. That's gonna stick with me for life.
Stop with the selectively sacrificing.
It's all or nothing. Give it to him.
Give it to him. The only adequate gift is your life, and all of it, not just pieces. The whole puzzle. You gotta give it up. Gotta give it up.
Is that what you're gonna leave the people with?
That's what you got something. That's what I'm leaving with. What you got?
Yeah, that basically it. Like you had a future worth dying for. Now it's your turn.
Yeah.
It's your turn. Yeah. Just want to just give y'all this quick reminder for this EP, just because like you're gonna have to, for this next season, he has to have it all. He can't take you to what's next. He can't give you everything he wants if you're still holding on to the thing he's asking you to submit.
Right.
That's why it's so important. For such a time as this.
Yeah.
He wants it now. He wants his glory through you now, but you gotta commit for real.
For real.
Or commit again. That's what people. I don't think we always think about that too. Like it's a perpetual commitment. Like sometimes even after you get saved, it's like, God, okay, I give you my life again. I give you my yes again.
It's kind of like, you know how when people get married, they like renew their vows. It's not just like a one-time commitment.
Wow.
Oh, that's good.
I think some of us need to renew our vow with God. Real talk. I'm being dead serious. That's actually for me. That's actually for me.
Yeah.
You need to renew some vows. God, I know I fell off. I know I had a few months where I wasn't committed. I know I left my seat of purpose. I know I didn't represent you the way I know I should. I know I fell back into a few of those same habits.
I know.
But I love you. And I give it to you all. You have my life.
Take my yes again.
Again.
Man.
Take my yes again. Dang. Well, man, before I start tearing up, man, we're gonna leave y'all with that.
Yeah,
just give it to God and tell him he'll take the yes again. He wants it.
Yeah, his arms are open. So I hope you have a nice week.
Yeah, bro. Y'all stay blessed. Stay you. Stay real. Stay humble. We'll catch y'all next week. Much love.